In this video, we'll begin to look at the action that you can take on onboarded client files within Once Accounting. Now that we have onboarded the Once Accounting demo company, you're able to see these alerts that we have populated. The first alert in the list is a chart of accounts alert, noting that there have been 174 new or changed chart of account items. This is the first alert that we will populate when you initially connect a client. The reason being, when we onboard a client and gather in data, we examine the chart of accounts and make sure that they get mapped into the correct places for tax purposes or even custom financials. Any mapping performed by Once does not affect the client's chart of accounts within their accounting software. It only takes place within our system. To clear this alert, we recommend that you walk through our chart of accounts mapping and review to make sure everything looks correct, which is what we'll walk through today in this video. What you see on the screen before you is an Excel chart of accounts trial balance for the Once Accounting demo company. This is the same chart of accounts that we have mapped and onboarded through QuickBooks Online. You can see in this chart of accounts that we have several accounts labeled computers without numbers or descriptions. You can see as we scroll down things like salaries and wages, and more salaries and wages that are buried within showroom accounts. So these are tax significant accounts that are buried in sub-accounts for things that are not tax significant, like showrooms. And what we are able to do in Once is automatically examine all of these chart of accounts details and make sure that they end up in the right buckets for tax purposes without you having to manually manipulate like you normally would in an Excel trial balance. And so when we walk through, you will see where we've put computers. And these computers categories are for various things like fixed assets, cost of goods sold, marketing. They all need to go to different places. And these salaries and wages will end up mapped into the correct places, even though they are sub-accounts. We'll also be able to work through inconsistent account number formatting or things without account numbers at all. Now that we are back at Once in the Command Center, we'll be able to review our chart of accounts mapping and clean it up if needed. In order to do this from the Command Center, you will select the company that you've just onboarded, in this case, the Once Accounting demo company. You'll select the Companies tab, and then select that company once again. And here, we'll toggle up the screen so we can get a full view, and we'll select this tab that says Chart of Accounts Map. And in the drop-down, you'll see Tax Lead. This is the mapping that we have done for the chart of accounts. To begin, let's see how we mapped computers into its various categories. We can find where we mapped it by simply typing in the account name computers, and you'll see here that we have put it in 5 different buckets. These are the same computers accounts that you saw in Excel. No descriptions or account numbers, all mapped into the correct category: inventory, fixed assets, gross receipts, purchases, and technology. We can also type in salaries and wages. And you'll see those same sub-accounts that were buried in showrooms are already mapped without manual manipulation at all. What these groups or tax leads are various chart of account items that we have gathered in and grouped together in different categories for tax purposes. So all of these categories go to a specific place on the tax return. And you'll note that we have not asked yet what return type or really what return platform this is filed on. That's because we're agnostic to that solution, and that's done on the export. So here, no matter if it's an S Corp or if it's a C Corp, whatever filing type it is, will be universal within once using this methodology. So you can see how we have mapped in different chart of account items into inventory, into deposits. We can look up and say owners and find loans from ownership or loans to shareholder within that category. And so we recommend that you go through and review all of these chart of account items and make sure that they're in the right place. Now, what if we don't know what to do with something? What if we miss something? There's a way that we can catch these. So if we first go to other, you'll see here that we have other operating expenses, and there's some items in here, other costs of goods sold, things that we don't know what to do with, and we give you the ability to fix that. So for this other operating expenses, you can see that we've got video production costs in here. Well, that could be something that you know needs to go into marketing for your client. So you can search that account up and simply drag and drop that account type into here. And now you'll see in the marketing field that we have mapped in and corrected that other that we didn't know what to do with. And now going forward, anything in video production costs for this client will end up in the marketing bucket for that client. You don't have to fix this ever again. There are also things that we will not intentionally do anything with. We put those in a category called needs attention before filing. It's the very last account in this list, and you can see all caps, needs attention before filing. Now, you have the ability to move these out and put them in another category. You'll see things like gifts in here. You'll see things like penalties and fines. You, as a CPA user, have the ability to move these and put these into, let's say you want to call gifts promotional. And it's a marketing expense. You can do that. You can map those things in there. But these are all things that we want you to be able to decide what to do with. Gifts, entertainment, state income, franchise taxes, things labeled Ask My Accountant. Another important thing about this category is that anything that is in here will generate an alert. And we can actually see that. If we come back out through the command center, toggling down and clicking the alerts for the Once Accounting Demo Company, you'll see needs attention. Ask My Accountant had 2 transactions in it. And so when we come through here and click this chart of accounts map, you'll see that these needs attention before filing, Ask My Accountant. So these will trigger alerts for you as well. You have the ability to drag and drop and clean things out or add things in if you like. But that is essentially how you are able to walk in and review the mapping and make sure everything looks right in order to continue working on the client file. Once you are done reviewing and everything is to your liking, you can come back into this alert, chart of account changed. You can just hit this check that will select all and dismiss the selected. And when we regather in that data, we will clear this alert out. In our next videos, we'll walk through the other actions that you can take on this client data. Things like reporting, clearing out alerts for book and tax significant activity, and pushing things into a tax return.